color releases is going to be lighter. And that's when we get those hazes. Or they don't cover, we were talking about that, you get a blue haze. You get, have anyone seen a pink haze, even though you put an ash? But it depends on the lines. Loxy, what is the pigment undertone of the whole line? Is it blue or violet? Or green? Is it blue? So the whole, okay, that's where you're getting the blue haze.
Yeah.
I think Matrix is blue. I think Joico is purple, violet. Okay, so some of these already have the whole lines of blue undertones because their color doesn't cover enough. Other ones have violet undertone. Dickson, natural. The whole line is natural. Yellow, blue, and red. It's not overtaking one the other, so you don't have to try to figure it out. If you need ash, you pull it out, bring ash. You don't have to worry about, oh, if I look at, Joico's one of them. Maybe it's a green. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. But have you ever seen a color that's supposed to be ash and when they walk outside it's so matte and green looking?
Yeah.
Okay, that's because whatever undertone it is. Dickson doesn't have that as an undertone. Now, am I getting too far off, or is it you right? Because I'll jump up and down. I get so excited. I don't know if you notice that. And I've only had like 2 cups of coffee this morning, so.
So does this level 6 to 12 have, is it straight molecules too? Or
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay, so, perfect, good question. Because what happens is when when you're talking about, you're using a level 10 and you're using 30, I'm going to use a level 10. Well, why I'm doing that, it's usually, Aloxys, it's your level 11. So usually if you're going to be switching a line, you're using a 6, that's Dickson's 7. Or no, if you're using a 7, that's because, wait a minute, I'm getting 2. So, one is black. So if I'm going to use Aloxys 5, that's Dickson 6. Because think about this, it's more pigment. So a 6 on a 6 is going to give you the 6, where a true 6. So it's going to look a little bit richer, deeper, because you're putting that more in. Where Aloxy, they're eating more of it, because it's 1.5 peroxide, correct? So you're eating half of that out, a lot more out. So here's what happens. Here's in your cortex, okay? So here's where we're trying to put the molecule in. We don't have to do that. This will open up a little bit. Where the molecules are so small they get in here, so we don't have to eat a lot. Your other color lines have to eat all this. So that's why when you put a 6 on a 6, you get a 6, but by the time they come back in, it's orangier and it's golder, because what's happened is this all released, and you only have half. And what you get is you get a lot of wishy-washy. Okay? And I'm gonna prove to you what I'm saying. And so, depending on what level you're using, but if I put a 10, I'm only going to get a 10. I'm not going to get 11. Even if I use 40, you're eating too much of the shaft. You need to do high lift. And that's only like, on her, with, when you're doing blondes like this, you're going to get, but come on. I'm not going to get this blonde with this hair with 40 volume and a high lift color. No color line does that. And that's what I like about Dickson. On the back on the chart, it'll say level 5 to level 12, XXX. Because remember, this is a true Italian line, so they're using this on Italian hair. So when they use a 6, they get the 6 because they're using level 6. Most Italians are 5s, 4s and 5s. It's like Spanish hair, right? In Spain, I see a lot of Dickson. And it's because, again, they're using it like as they were being taught. North America, we're using it as, oh, let's do color for dummies. And so these color lines come in, they eat so much of the shaft, we don't do that. So that's why our color sticks longer. Now here's, for example, she comes in and she has gray, and she comes in, and except all through here, I have bands. I got orangey on the bottom, I got a mid shaft, deeper, and then a really light, and this gets really light, and I've got bands from the combing it through. Okay? rule of color. Long hairs want to keep their long hair. Why are we running color through the ends with peroxide for the last 5 minutes? I teach my clients this. Why do we do that? Because we're taught you comb it through, it's going to brighten it up. Okay, so here's my analogy. You wash your colored clothes in cold water. You wash your whites in hot water. Because in the whites, you need to swell open the cuticle. Hot water will do that. Then whatever detergent, depending on what you're using, is going to do that. Right? What is it, Oxy? Well, that just blows it right open, okay? And now your colored clothes, there was a product, well, you want to make your colors brighter, you just add a little ounce into your wash, right? Well, the first time those colors look bright, don't they? Next time they start to get duller and duller and duller because they're lifting. So every time you comb your hair through the ends, 5 minutes, you're only going to do the roots and then we're going to comb it through for the last 5 minutes. By the time this is coming in, you wonder why this doesn't stay, right? Because that 5 minutes is like adding bleach to your colored clothes every time you wash it. What's going to happen? Your blue is not going to look purpley blue anymore. It's going to look pale. You're going to have little holes from the bleach. You're going to get all the little things coming up because you're distorting the cuticle. Clothes is the same thing. It's a fabric. Your hair is a fabric. So if you're thinking about cold and hot, you know, peroxide, non-peroxide, I never touch my ends ever once I do the roots, unless I'm doing a full color change, ever with peroxide. And I'm going to show you what we got, because what happens is, this is what I was saying about the color line. By using just a developer or peroxide compared to with K35, we just doubled our line. So everything in here, you can turn around and use with K35, and now you've got a semi-permanent color without a whole leather. Just from this color chart, this only one. So you can have 20 colors in your back bar, and now you've got 40. Think about this. She comes in, right up there, I will do peroxide on the roots, 20 volume. It takes me 2 minutes to go mix up another color with K35, the same color, and do the ends. It stays on so well, it might fade. If it faded from the 6 to 8 weeks, because long hairs usually don't come in 6 weeks. Let's say 8 weeks later, they're in the sun. We're like 100 degrees weather. We're desert of Canada. The only desert in Canada. So we do have rattlesnakes. We're Napa Valley meets Palm Desert, Canada. We've got golf courses and wineries. Everybody that was getting on the plane from Seattle was Wine Fest. They were only up there for a couple days and going to wineries and wineries. We've got like 128 wineries and 64 golf courses. So think of the age, right? Anyhow. So what happens is we get everybody in the sun. So after about 3-4 months, maybe 3 months, this is faded off. If I started with the level 6, I'll do the roots at the level 6. Now I've already got level 6 on the ends, it's just faded. Would I put a 6? What would I put? Yes, a 7. And why is because I've already got some palette. I've already got a base, right? And so I just use K35. So I'll do this 20 volume on the roots and K35 on the ends. Now with that part, now you can see where I'm at. Now I'll go through a little bit of the color line. Thank you, Val. And it's pretty well straightforward. Okay, this is your chocolate browns. This series is your chocolate browns, meaning if you look at any kind of a chocolate, what is your undertone? When they go outside, the richness is there, but when they go outside, you get that reflection. And it really does have reflections like this. So that's why when I go think of chocolate, you got that warm chocolate, you know what I mean? And people go, I don't want any gold. No, they just don't want the gold that we're talking about that we see in the grocery store. But if it's too matte, right, then you're not getting any reflection. Now, and through here, this is called the copper red. Red with orange. Okay, copper red. So when I'm talking about basic color line, your primary colors, okay? You got red, yellow, and blue. Green. Wait a minute, I'm going green, violet. Thank you very much. So, I'm brain freeze. So, when I'm talking about your natural, we start with your natural, and then from there, all we're going to do add. So when we're doing copper and orange, copper and copper red, we're just going to be adding another yellow and another a Y. See how simple this is going to be? So if we got a base that's already orange, we don't need to add too much. And that's where you're going to pick your levels. And that's the difference between those oranges and these oranges. Am I getting too far? Is this mixing anybody up? No? Like, believe me, because I can get out there. And so what happens is the rest is basically itself. Your golds are your golds. In here, yes, your 5s. But see right here, 4G, 5G, 6G, 7G, 8G, 9G. Pretty simple. Okay? Your beiges, these are nice because it's a little bit combination of a little bit more warmth, but not too much, so you get the coolness, but right in the middle. I call it my fence rider. So whether you're warm tone skin or a cool tone, there's fence riders, what I call it. And that's where it's on the fence. I go, you're cool or you're warm, right? And then you can, as you're getting closer to the center, it becomes, you can wear two different. You can wear warmer and cooler, not too far off of it, but there's people that can wear it because of their skin tone. Where other people, if you put something, I used to be black cherry. I used to do 4RR in here. Yes, it was the 80s. And people go, you're a winter. No, I'm not. But yes, but everybody thought it was a natural dark because my eyebrows are dark, and it wasn't. And I was so pale without makeup. Like, oh my God. They'd go, oh, are you allergic to the sun? Swear to God. Or when I did a lot of shows, then people would go, oh, so it's really cold in Canada. So, you know, there's no way I should have ever used a level 5 and 4. 4 was mine. And through here, these are additives that you can add these, just like the old days. They used to have them and they took them away, they brought them back. These are additives. So any color you want, a little bit more yellow you want, into your brighter orange, add a little bit of yellow. Okay? You want a little bit more red, whatever you're going to be picking, you can add another red. They're your enhancers.